topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. I love doing this show because my home base is Florida, and this is our Florida market. And I got to tell you, I'm in the southeast part of Florida, and we have been sort of spared. We ended up with a lot of tornadoes, but Southwest Florida has been hit twice. All of our experts that do shows with us in Tampa and Orlando had damages. So this is the greatest show to do because we are in hurricane season. And today I read from a meteorologist that they're saying hurricane season could go into December this year. It's normally over at the end of November. And he said there's a good possibility the southeast part of Florida is going to be hit. And, you know, you wrote us saying, we understand there are public insurance adjusters out there. And with all the homeowners we have, this is the perfect show. Let me introduce you to our great expert, Jason Saka. Hi, Jason.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. I bet you didn't read what I read this morning.
I didn't. I don't have time to read anything with all this.
I know you're so busy.
Yeah, it's been very busy. We're trying to help out, the community. That a lot of people are suffering and have a lot of damage, unfortunately.
They said the season's going to go into December this year, and that the Southeast has a good they even explained why. That the Southeast, where you and I are, is going to get hit this year. So we're going to pray and keep our fingers crossed so that doesn't happen. Jason, tell us, your company is People's Insurance Claim Center. Tell people about your company.
So, here at PICC, we've been in business for nearly 25 years, servicing, as a public adjuster. For those of you who don't know what a public adjuster is, we're basically the middleman between you and the insurance company to make sure that your insurance company pays enough and covers your loss after something happens. So it's not just limited to hurricanes. It could be fire, flooding, plumbing issues, air conditioning leaks. There's a number of things that could happen in your house that you may be qualified to make a claim for. And, here at PICC, since we have 25 years experience, we've worked multiple claims, hurricanes in the past 25 years. We worked in 2004, there was, Hurricane Katrina, and in 2005 we had Wilma, and we had a nice time off, and then Irma came in 2017, and Ian came in 2022, and so on. So we have the experience. We can deal with any size claim, whether it's a small residential or a large commercial. We're dealing with charter schools, with the office buildings, with homeowners associations. I mean, you name it, we can handle it. We have the team behind us that knows how to deal with these claims effectively and ensure that you get the most out of your claim.
Most people, the common man, does not know the value. And the reason why I say that is when I lived in Texas, and of course we got hurricanes down in Texas, I had flooding. And they made me an offer. And what do I know what things are worth? But it didn't seem right to me. And a friend of mine said, you need to get a public adjuster. And the things that I learned from that, Jason, that how can someone not get a public adjuster? Because it was I mean, I got so much more money with a public adjuster than I got on my own. I mean, just small things like they wanted to replace different tile, but it would not have matched because the tile I had no longer existed and they were trying to cut corners. So it is so important what you do, Jason, and also break-ins too, right?
Yeah, anything, robbery. I mean, we deal with it all. But it's, listen, it's important to hire a public adjuster. These days you see a lot of lawyers now advertising that they do claims,
Yes.
and they act. First of all, as I'll tell you about the lawyers. The lawyers are going to take between 33 and 40% to do the same thing the public adjuster is going to do for between 10 and 20%. So, and typically these lawyers are hiring the public adjusters to work under them. So you're basically paying more and you're getting the same thing. Why pay more? Come directly to the public adjuster. Start with us first. Let us help you. Let us deal with it. Now, look, if we get into a situation where a claim is denied and they're not covering it and your only option is to go legal, then, certainly that's something that's important that I would recommend that you do. But, in the initial steps of it, call us, let us come out there, let us take a look at it. There's no charge for us to come. We work on a percentage. We give a free consultation and, we can help you specifically now with the hurricane. A lot of people now, the hurricane happened, October 9th, Milton. And then before that, it was Helen, and September 26th, I believe, was the date. And people got flooding, wind damage, everything. A lot of people are just scurrying and running to call their insurance companies and get them out there, and their adjusters are coming, and they're starting to see their estimates now, a few weeks later, and they're realizing, wow, you know what? They might have had 20 shingles missing off the roof. They got paid for, a patch when they should have got a new roof. So don't accept that, get a second opinion, get us out there. Let us come and take a look. There's no cost. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. We're not going to force you into doing a claim, but at least if you have the peace of mind in knowing whether or not you were treated fairly, that's means a lot also, because you don't want to cut corners. It's your house. You want to get it to pre-loss condition. That's with anything, not just with roofs or plumbing. It's the same thing with you, Stevie. You say you had damage to the tile. Pre-loss condition is matching your tile. If you try to sell your house tomorrow and you have mismatched tile, the guy's going to tell you, what are you talking about? I'm not paying this kind of money for this house.
Exactly.
Things don't match. It looks, it's that's not the idea. The idea is to get you back to where you were. That's why you pay for an insurance. And having an expert that knows how to navigate the insurance process, how to deal with them, how to negotiate, is going to get you the value that you need so you can get your house fixed and have, enough to do what needs to be done.
Jason, you're here in South Florida. Are you surprised how many homeowners don't really know what's in their homeowner's policy?
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised, because if you look at your homeowner's policy, it's 150 pages of language that nobody, if you're not familiar with it, you're not going to understand it. We're attorney. I mean, we're not attorneys. We're public adjusters. We're versed in damages and claims, so we know how to read through a policy and what each thing means and how to interpret things. Unfortunately, the typical homeowner doesn't. It's like going to, getting your car fixed. If you're not a mechanic, you're not gonna be able to fix your car correctly. You just don't have the knowledge. It's not your fault. It's just you never learned it. So, rely on us, rely on our expertise, and let us help you. That's the goal here.
You do so much work before you've realized your first dime, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And there's times where I'll work a claim for, a year, let's say, and the claim gets denied, and I get nothing, and I wasted my time. But that's never really an option, because I don't consider it that way. If a claim gets denied, there's always options. But I'm saying is, inevitably, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get paid for putting all the efforts in. So I'm taking a risk, on any claim I take, that I'm going to get paid. So yeah, it could take months, it could take a year, it could take anything. But yeah, we don't take any money up front. We only charge a percentage of what you actually get. So if you recover, we benefit, and if we're not successful, then we're not getting paid a dollar, even though we've incurred expenses, met adjusters, written estimates, traveled. It is what it is. But we don't just service South Florida. We're also servicing Mid Florida, North Florida, anywhere in Florida. We're going to Tampa. We're going to Sarasota. We're going to the West Coast. We're going to Orlando, Kissimmee. Even on the East Coast now had damages from this last storm. Daytona, Melbourne, Palm Bay, all these cities. So we're our physical office is down south, but we do service the entire state of Florida, and we can help anybody with any size claim that they have. They can give us a call.
We've got about 4 or 5 experts, different areas of their show is that are in Tampa, and boy, they really got slammed, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, I was over there, and it's not pretty what we see. But you know what? They had a lot of flooding over there. A lot of, but there was a lot of wind. I think people don't realize the extent of the wind damage until later on. So maybe they see that there's some shingles missing, and they say, "Oh, it's no big deal. I'm not going to file a claim." And then in a month from now, when the heavy rains come and the roof starts to leak, they don't know what to do. So if you have damage, if you're not sure if it's worth claiming or not, give us a call. We come out there. We'll tell you if it's worth it, if it's over your deductible or not. We know what's going to be paid, what's not. I mean, I have claims I've been to that look so simple, and then on the surface, they end up being much more than anybody ever expected. And, it cost them more than, what the value they would have gotten from the insurance. So, why accept your initial offer? Why not make the claim thinking it's not worth it? At least get somebody, an expert, to look at it and tell you, hey, look, it's worth it or not.
Jason, what I've learned about public insurance adjusters, and I'm not trying to insult anybody, but basically a person is crazy not to hire you, because you're going to be able, so much more about value of damages than the normal person. And I learned that with myself, talking to friends, doing other shows in other parts of the country. I mean, you are so worth your weight in gold.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's unfortunate though that not everybody thinks that way. People sometimes call their agent when they have to make a claim, and the agent discourages them, says, "No, don't call the public adjuster, call the insurance on your own." But I'll tell you what happens. A lot of times, and hurricanes are pretty obvious, fires are pretty obvious, but when you're dealing with like water losses, right, a leak in your kitchen or your bathroom or something, anything you say to the insurance company can be used against you. And if you don't know how to present your claim to them, they can misinterpret your damages and say, no, it's long-term damage, it's wear and tear, it's this, it's that, and deny your claim even before you got to me. Why take that chance? Call me first. Let me evaluate it and see. Don't be discouraged. And remember, you're dealing with an insurance company whose job is to collect premiums in exchange for a contract to pay damages. If they don't pay you, they're the winner. You're still paying your policy, but they're the winner at the end of the day. Why take that risk? Have somebody on your side that knows how to deal with them and can help you recover what you're entitled to.
We just got 2 texts. The first one is Rosemary in Miami. She wants to know, can you reopen a claim?
Absolutely. We can reopen a claim. As long as you haven't signed something saying that you agreed that this is full and final, we can reopen it. You typically have up to 2 years to reopen a claim. So if you made a claim in the past and you're not happy with it, give us a call. We'll reopen it. We'll take care of it for you.
This is Harold in Sarasota wants to know. He said, you're absolutely right. It's like my policy is like a book. I'm reading through it. I don't see, what about mold and mildew? Do policies handle that?
So typical policies do have a limited coverage for mold. It might be 5 or 10,000, could be 25,000. But mold is normally handled on an incurred basis. So if there is mold, if a mold company certifies that there's mold through an air sample and they prove that there's mold, then you could be entitled to be reimbursed for the removal of the mold, depending on what caused the mold. Meaning, like, there had to have been a loss that caused the mold to exist. If you just walked in your house one day and saw mold and there's no cause, then that might be a cause of question. But that's why you ask us. We come, we evaluate, we tell you yes, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, it's if you don't take care of mold, it can really get out of hand. What kind of question? I know you're getting calls from probably the Tampa and Orlando area. What kind of questions do people have?
Well, normally when they're calling, us, they're asking us what is covered and what's not covered under their policy, right? Did they, we had to move out, we had to hire a restoration company, we had to tarp the roof. Are these things covered or not? I mean, that's the typical stuff that they would ask. But it's all also asking, in terms of damages, what they're entitled to get paid for based on their contract. People might have screen enclosures and there might be limited coverage for that. And there's different things that can happen that your policy covers, but every policy is unique to every house because every house is unique. There's no 2 houses that are alike and no 2 policies that are alike. So you might have the same company as somebody else, but they might have different endorsements that you don't have. So You can't judge, on the whole. You got to judge on yourself only. So that's what we're here to do.
We had a call. Do you work with community association boards?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We do work on community association boards. We do homeowner, we do claims for condos, for apartment buildings, and everything like that. We're working on several right now on the West Coast where the roofs got damaged, and we're representing the association in the roof replacement as well as the drywall damages.
Hey, Jason, how about the dome there? With all the tiles they lost.
Yeah, I should call them up and see if they need me.
Yeah, no.
Luckily,
no
they moved
kidding.
the people out of there. Luckily, they moved the people out before the storm. They were going to put all the FPL and every workers over there, and it wasn't rated for that amount of wind that they got. So yeah.
I want to ask you something. I swear I'm not getting political we've got the elections coming up in a week, but I've seen the devastation in North Carolina. It is horrendous. People have died. What was your feeling when you heard FEMA was giving $750 to some people, not even everybody?
Listen, it's FEMA is there to help people that don't have insurance, that don't have a way, that don't have the means and stuff like that. I mean, $750 is not going to even replace the food in the refrigerator for the people that lost power. It's it's definitely problematic. But listen, when you're dealing with government, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, there's money involved, and there's budgets for certain things, and unfortunately, when people are elected, they make decisions based on what they feel is right at the time and what they have in front of them. So I can't comment as to whether or not I feel it's the right thing or not, but I don't feel that $750 would be enough money to do anything for anybody that has damage on their property.
That's actually the answer I was looking for, because
it's not happening.
it's so ridiculous, and not everybody is getting that either. Because we do a show in Charlotte. Not everyone is getting that, and people who've lost their homes. So now, if I call you up and I want you to represent me, how does it work?
So typically, when you call me up, I'll ask some basic intake questions in terms of where you're located, who your insurance is, what kind of damages you have, and then we'll schedule a free inspection at your property. So then I can come and look at the damages, look at your policy, and see what's damaged, what's covered, and then at that point we can discuss whether or not it makes sense to make a claim. If you decide to hire me to make the claim, I will reach out to the insurance company, set up an appointment to meet with them there. We'll go meet with them. We'll write an estimate, and then basically, the negotiations and everything happen in the back office, and we, work for you and fight for you.
Jason, you've got a lot of experience. You have seen probably just about everything you could possibly see. I think the great part about hiring your company is you have a good idea of what you can get. And I know, and you probably, I'm sure dealing with these insurance companies, they've got some of the best negotiators out there that you go up against every day. But it just seems like when you tell someone something, when you feel like you can get them, maybe if it doesn't happen even, but you've got the experience, you've seen it all.
Absolutely. So I don't normally talk numbers when I go to sign contracts, because I don't want anybody to ever hire me on a number, because that's not the deal. A lot of adjusters will come, I'll get you 50,000, sign here, and then they get 20, and then they're upset, and I don't want to do that. But what I do typically do is say, look, this is the scope of damages we're looking at. If we can agree to this scope, then you can expect this kind of money for this kind of damages. But the scope is there's interpretations, meaning, let's say you have a kitchen damage and there's a leak underneath the sink, and you have granite countertops. The insurance company wants to pay you to detach the granite and put it back. I'm asking to replace it. If I get them to replace it, the money's going to be a lot more than if they didn't replace it. So there's certain parts of a claim where the value can change significantly from one part to the next. You might have a broken pipe underneath your floor, and the method to repair is to replace the tile and dig the floor and change the pipe. But then again, the insurance might say that they have somebody that can reroute the pipe and not. So that always can make a difference on what the values are. But remember one thing, the insurance company sends adjusters to your house. A lot of those adjusters that come to your house are independent. They don't have a say. They don't make the call. They send the stuff to the guy that's sitting at the desk, and the guy sitting at the desk decides what he wants to do. When the guy sitting at the desk decides what he wants to do, then there's options. There's provisions in the policies. There's tools we can use to fight them, regardless of whether they want to negotiate or not. There are things in the policy that we can use, invoke certain aspects that can get them to the table and make them pay much more than what they paid initially. And we know what those are, and we're there to help and get you as much as possible.
Jason, what are some of the common misconceptions about public adjusters?
Well, people think that we're not needed, that the insurance company is going to do right by them and they're going to get everything. And why pay a percentage to an adjuster? You're going to have no money. They're taking all your money. But I can tell you this, in my 25 years of doing business, okay, on my successful cases, I can't remember the time that the client told me I didn't have enough money to do the job even after paying me. Because when it comes down to it, you get the money in your hands, you hire the people you want to do the work with, and you're going to find the guy that's going to do it at the best price also. So I'm going to get you the cream of the crop price, the top price to fix the stuff, and you're going to find whoever you're going to find and work it out that way. And then you'll end up with enough money to do everything you need to do. So that's the idea here, is to get you your house fixed.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the final question is, tell me why I should hire you.
Well,
I have a claim.
Look us up. Okay, we're A+ in the Better Business Bureau. Look at our 5-star ratings on Google. Go from experience. We'll give references of clients we've dealt with. Ask around, see who we are, see what our reputation is. We don't treat every claim like it's our only claim. We treat every client like they're important. We don't embellish claims to better our pockets. We're looking out for the best interest of the homeowner at all times. We have a very good reputation with the insurance company, and that's why they typically negotiate with us and accept it. And they know when they're getting a claim with PICC, they're getting an honest company that's going to come and work for their clients and not gouge either, because it's not my business. I'm not a gouger. I'm here to get you what's fair and to get you enough to do what needs to be done. And for that, I have a good reputation with the insurance company, and that's the reason why we've been successful and been in business for 25 years. And we want to be there to help.
Jason, you can tell that you know what you're doing. And you know what? Somebody should feel so comfortable with your company. Let's give everybody, the ones who are listening on radio and podcasts, let's give them your phone number and your website.
Okay, so my phone number is 305-525-2903. That's 305-525-2903. The website is going to be www.piccfla, like Florida.com. So www.piccfla.com, and you can see all about us. The number I gave out is my cell phone. You'd speak to me directly, and I'm happy to answer any questions and help you, with any damages you may have.
And also I want people also know, if you've got a friend who's had damages, let's just say from the hurricane, since it's so recent, even though Jason's company handles other claims, tell them about Jason's company. Give them the phone number. You can also go back to iHeart and see the show again, but tell them, because like I said, it doesn't cost you anything to get started. Jason, we want to thank you so much. Jason will be back again with us next month with more Ask the Experts. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That's Jason Saka. What a great guy. If you've got a claim, listen, it doesn't cost you anything up front, and they work off a percentage of what they get you. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.